Hello everyone and welcome to Life Begins at 20. My name is Mark and today we are looking at my top 10 uncommons from Modern Masters 2017 for Cube. This set has been absolutely incredible for Cube builders at all rarities with some amazing reprints. The best part for players of Peasant cubes is the number of cards that have been downshifted in rarity to uncommon. This opens up a lot of very interesting and potentially powerful cards that could really affect players' cubes. This, along with some great uncommon value cube staples, really makes it a great set to look at and pick up some cards from. I'm sure there'll be many discussions from yourselves to the choices that I've made in this video, so do let me know in the comment section below what you're excited about for your own cubes. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, don't forget to share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. So, let's get stuck in. To start off with, I'd like to give an honourable mention to these cards. A lot of people can be a bit hit and miss on the signets, but I'm very happy to have them in my own 720 cube. I think they help add to splashing for extra colours and ramp, which I'm okay with, while the list is certainly big enough not to see them all that often. Smaller cubes may differ on the numbers to make it balanced. That being said, I know a lot of players don't like them in cube as they are too powerful due to mid-range decks getting their wraths or powerful creatures out quicker, which takes away from aggro decks. Plus they may also take away from green being a ramp colour. Another way players have been going with these signets is only taking the ones with blue in, as the other colours have preferred ways to ramp. Green has mana dorks and spells like Cultivate, for example. Whether you choose to have them or not is completely down to you. I'm really excited to hopefully picking up the new artwork of the Azorius and Dimir signets in foil as well. They look stunning. At the number 10 slot, we have a downshifted card from rare to uncommon that I think is a little underrated now at the uncommon level for Peasant Cube players, and that is Mystic Genesis. For me, this is a slightly more expensive Mystic Snake half the time, but it has the potential to become a lot bigger for one more mana. More often than not, it may just end up being that 2-2, which isn't the end of the world, especially as Peasant cubes won't have access to the Mystic Snake. But depending on the deck you're playing against, I could easily see this coming up between a 3-3 and a 5-5 quite regularly. Plus, if your cube supports a populate mechanic, this gains even more value. At number 9, we have another one of the downshifted cards with Might of Old Crozer. I like this versatile combat trick in green. I don't support a huge amount of combat tricks within my cube, but 2-2 for 1 at instant speed is decent, and having the option if the board state is beneficial for you to do so, giving a creature +4/+4 as long as it's played in your main phase, i.e. at sorcery speed, for the same cost, I think can really help a player out and give it that final push in for extra or lethal damage. At number 8 we have another downshifted card which green players will certainly not complain about, and that's Gaia's Anthem. This is an uncommon version of White's Glorious Anthem for green. Green certainly has access to a lot of token generators, and splashing white for some more certainly gives this card extra value. With all the mana dorks available to you in green as well, giving them a little extra protection so they can stay relevant over the course of the game isn't a bad use of mana at all. That being said, at Unpowered or power level of cubes, you'll often find these anthems attached to creatures or planeswalkers, like Gideon Ally of Zendikar for example, which negates these standalone cards, opening up space for something else. At Peasant level, I'm sure this can make a decent impact. Bigger green creatures may not need the +1/+1 anthem as much, but I'd certainly not be too disappointed finding it in my deck. At number 7 we have one of the cards that really helps support the Reanimator archetype with Unburial Rites. This is a really strong card for either that archetype or potentially more likely in a control deck, as the higher mana cost does tend to give the big creature coming into play a lot less advantage than if it came out on turn 2 or turn 3. That being said, potentially getting 2 big creatures onto the battlefield with Enter the Battlefield triggers with flashback on the card could well come in very handy. Also, it would make fact or fiction piles very difficult for your opponent. At number 6 we have a really solid piece of removal that sees a fair amount of play in Peasant and potentially unpowered cubes as well in Putrefy. Unlike Abrupt Decay, which this is likely to go up against in powered or unpowered cubes, Putrefy limits the number of cards it can hit, so no enchantments or planeswalkers, which under 4 converted mana cost may not be all that many depending on your cube. but it makes up for it with the fact that it doesn't matter what the converted mana cost is for the artifact or creature it hits. The fact that the creature can't be regenerated as well may come in handy depending on the cube that you have. I'd be more than happy to pick this and take Nature's Claim and Naturalise to deal with potential enchantments. At number 5 we have another cube staple in Orzhov colours, and that is Lingering Souls. This card is very solid and pretty powerful with the versatility to end up in a variety of decks. Creating 4 1/1 flying spirits for 5 casting cost, which is including its flashback cost, can prove to be a very irritating board presence for your opponent, and at such a good price. It's happy in a control or aggro deck, plus it's easily splashable for both black and white decks too. With a number of discard outlets in black as well, you may even have the potential of not having to play this with white mana at all. At number 4 we have a cube staple in the form of Flickerwisp. This is a solid 3 casting cost creature that finds a home in both aggro and mid-range decks, potentially even some control decks as well. A 3/1 flyer for 3 is pretty decent for the cost, but the flicker effect is really the aspect of the card that gives it a spot in cubes over many other cards to support this archetype. With so many creatures or permanents with enter the battlefield effects in cube, this can really be utilised. In white alone, extra life can be gained from Lone Missionary, card draw from Wall of Omens, extra bodies with Cloudgoat Ranger, and abusing Oblivion Ring, just to name a few at the uncommon level. Gets even better with unpowered and powered cubes. At number 3 we have one of the best value cards at uncommon in the form of Vampire Nighthawk. This guy is a fantastic 3-drop, being a 2/3 flyer with Death Touch and Lifelink, and makes it into most cubes with just his base stats alone. He has the ability to block almost anything in the cube, trade against higher costing creatures, and offensively offering evasion and a 4-life swing every time. He's a perfect target for equipment as well, and can fit into all manner of decks. He's just a solid, if unexciting, all-round card. At number 2 we have a card that returns to uncommon after being printed at rare in Conspiracy 2 in the form of Inquisition of Kozilek. Hand Disruption is the bread and butter of black colour identity, and this card does a great job. It's certainly a lot better early game, having more opportunity to hit a card to remove to give you the advantage, but depending on the average converted mana cost of your cube, it can still have plenty of targets as the game goes on. Duress may well allow you to hit larger targets, but its limitation of not hitting creatures makes Inquisition a better card overall, plus it's perfect against aggro decks. Just make sure you write down all the cards in the hand on a piece of paper so you know what to expect in future turns. And at the number 1 slot, which I'm sure no one here will be surprised to hear, is Path to Exile. This is up there as one of the best pieces of spot removal in the game, second only to Swords of Plowshares in my opinion. Instant speed, 1 casting cost, and exile all sound perfect to me. The only downside is you're giving them a basic land, which isn't enough to deter me from using it. Exile is huge in this format, with a lot of creatures having when they die effects, along with indestructible and recursion makes this a truly powerful card. Don't get me wrong, lands are extremely useful, especially early on, but I'm certainly okay with trading a massive threat of theirs for 1 land, especially against an aggro deck, as giving them life advantage would be an issue. This card is utilised in pretty much every deck that uses white, and with good reason. It's also not unheard of using this on one of your own creatures to get the ramp in mana yourself, but this is certainly not the optimum way to use this. So there we have my top 10 uncommons from Modern Masters 2017 for Cube. There are so many great cards that have been printed at uncommon, either downshifted or not, and it's certainly perfect for anyone building a Peasant cube. Some cards will certainly make it to unpowered cubes or even higher. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this. Are there cards that I've missed? Do you have a different order? Let me know in the comments section below. Which uncommons will you be adding to your cube from this set? Peasant cube players, are you over the moon with these rarity changes? I really can't wait to see all of your reactions. The next video I release will be the top 10 rare and mythic cards from Modern Masters 2017, and with all the amazing cards that got a reprint, I'm excited to see what you all think of those. Cube for 2 this week will be out on Wednesday, which I'm sure you won't mind given the video that's going to be coming tomorrow. If you all enjoyed the video, do hit that thumbs up button, share this with your friends to bring them into the discussion, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Tuesday and Friday, as it's really helping this channel to grow. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.